So, Gabby, what are we going to talk about at TED?
A TED? Why don't we talk about that time we found out we were going to be doing research in the same place at the same time with the same person?
Oh, yeah, that was right before the summer after our sophomore year when we went to the Wadsworth Center and we were both in a molecular biology lab together.
Yeah. Didn't even know what molecular biology was at the time, really.
Yeah,
Do you remember the first week we were there?
I do. Yeah, I prepared a lot of protein and over the course of 3 days, I put in probably 30 hours of work. And I mean, I only missed one guest lecture by a Nobel laureate, but it's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Just the one.
just the one.
Yeah, I guess that first week was pretty crazy. I remember the graduate student I worked with, first impression, sits me down in front of a machine, tells me it's $40,000, and if I make one mistake, the entire machine breaks because it's really finicky. But it definitely got better.
Yeah, it did. So then, that got better, and so, as the weeks went on, you felt a little bit more competent, right?
Yeah, remember we actually started talking about science and not what am I doing? What does this mean? We actually started telling each
Right,
other, like, hey, I think this is what we're looking at.
right. And
Look,
so we kind of understood what our work was going to be more, right?
yeah. We started showing each other data. That came after a while, too.
Remember when you first learned what a real data set looked like? Yeah,
That
that's
was,
that's always good because then you can start to see what a real science, the seeds of a real scientific breakthrough and how you actually get there instead of just kind of reading a news article and saying, that must have been a lot of work, but not actually knowing what that work is like.
yeah, you see things on TV or you read papers or people even just talk about discoveries and things like that. And then suddenly you think, I bet if I thought about it, I could really start to figure out how they came to like figuring out what that meant or how they did that.
So once you start getting data and you get outside the classroom and you realize what it's actually like to be part of the whole pace of science.
Yeah, I feel like in the classroom, you're a student, and then suddenly at Wadsworth, we were the scientists,
Wait, you
right?
felt like a scientist?
I felt, I mean, right? That would be a scientist?
I mean, I guess we could talk to really anyone in our building about their work, and they could talk to us about ours, and we could you know even ask them questions.
Yeah, we could tell each other what we're working on. We could talk about with our graduate students instead of them sitting us down at something and telling us what we're doing. We
Mm-hmm.
could ask them or talk about doing something else.
Yeah, we could talk about it with a guy who's from Iowa the next year when we're at a conference in California.
Yeah.
Or
Come
you could talk about it with the people you work with the next summer in Long Island, or I could talk about it with people I work with the next summer in South
South
Carolina.
Carolina.
South Carolina.
Or our friend who went to Michigan to do, I think, molecular biology work too.
Yeah, or a friend who's going to go to Australia, and she'll be able to talk about it with them as well.
And then our graduate students are in Cambridge, so we got to see Cambridge.
Yeah, that was fun. So
So,
maybe we should talk about that at TED.
so this is the TED Talk.
Yeah. So, like, what are we saying? You know.
We are bigger now. We're part of this, the word collaboration, it's not just something you read about, it's something you are.
Something you participate in.
It's almost like, what about that circle you told me about?
Oh yeah. So you really understand that there's meaning to this whole progression between you know going from freshman and sophomore year when you have this big backpack and you do endless homework and then you get spit into this research lab and you learn all these techniques and then once you learn those techniques you come back to the classroom and you do group homework or you raise your hand in class and you say, hey, I know about that because i
I
went
did it.
I did it.
You just kind of do it.
Yeah.
It's a real thing.
Yeah, you do it and then it's worth it in the end because you feel like you're part of the scientific community.
It's a life. It's about getting closer and closer, breaking the degrees of separation between you and science and what it is.
Yeah, it's like you know understanding what it means to have a life within science.
Or within whatever you're studying. It's being part of your academic community.
Hmm.
They're not separate from you.
Yeah, so it's like we're talking about how to put the life back in life sciences.
That's
You
a
like
TED
that?
Talk.
You like that?
That's
Okay.
a TED Talk.
If you want to hear more, come hear us on April 4th.